Good morning, guys. I'm actually passing right now in Wilmington, North Carolina, down Oriole Drive. And I'm passing by College Park School, which is where I went when I was a kid, when I was in kindergarten and first grade before I moved out to the country. Very interesting, very nostalgic. But what I wanted to talk about today was an update on the Facebook advertising. Now, the Facebook advertising is something I wanted to try because I don't do a whole lot of advertising, but I wanted to put my name out there in a low-cost format, see if I can get some more jobs closer to home, because my service area has been pretty wide here, and it would be nice if I had some more jobs close to home, especially since I just moved about 10 miles to the north. I was going to try to get more jobs closer to where I live, near Wallace, North Carolina, Rose Hill, places like that. Unfortunately, so far, the Facebook advertising has not worked particularly well. I have been running Facebook advertisements for about 6 weeks. A few different advertisements, a video of me just talking, a few things about having 20% off in February on a service call, but to my dismay, there wasn't a single hit on a 20% off. Now, there's plenty of people out there liking and sharing stuff, but not actually partaking in the offer. I had one service call come from the video, and it turned out to be sort of a, cluster, because I went up to the house and the unit was in disarray. I mean, the outdoor unit panel was off of the unit. The capacitor was blunt. I replaced the capacitor so it would run, but we need to check charge in the spring. The heat worked fine. But it's an old furnace where you had to flip the switch from heat to cool, and the people started fiddling with it after I told them to leave the breakers off until I checked them and things like that in the spring. And all of a sudden they say it's blowing cold air. Well, obviously they turned the breaker back on, but they shouldn't have. And it turned out to be sort of a pull your hair out sort of customer. So I'm sure I'll never see them again. And that's fine. Another gentleman contacted me about financing. I guess he thought that I was going to finance it personally, but once I told him he had to be approved, he quickly gave up hopes of being financed, which pretty much means that he would have been a huge risk, and he was trying to see if I would take on the risk, I guess, which wasn't going to happen. I do financing now, but it's through a bank, and it's like a secondary lender style bank where you go to get personal loans and things like that, somewhere in between the first class bank and the pawn shop. Not either one of those, but somewhere in between. So people that don't have good credit can also get loans as well, to a certain degree. I mean, you can't go in there with a 500 credit score and get a loan. I mean, you got to have decent credit, at least good enough to get a small personal loan. So that's the only action I really got off of Facebook, which has been really disappointing. Now, I probably spent $500 on advertising, and I recouped, counting the drive time to the call and the time I spent on it, $150, $100, once you put my time back into it. So, kind of a dead end. Didn't really work out for me. I'm probably going to pull the plug on it. I wanted to give it a little while, so I might give it to even 2 months to see if it produces anything. But after 2 months, I can't afford to keep spending money on something that doesn't produce anything at all. So, I know you guys have asked about ways for small businesses to advertise. And so far with Facebook, I'd have to give that a thumbs down or a negative endorsement. It doesn't work much for me. Hopefully it works for other people. But right now, I'm going to stick to word of mouth. And my customer letters I do every year. And that's about it. I haven't seen any other type of advertising that I'm really going to go for. I'm not big enough to do radio or TV for sure. So, I don't know. At a dead end for advertising for now. But I wanted to give you guys an update. Perhaps you know something I don't know about the advertising world, which is there's a lot of room there, because I don't know much at all. I'm good with the customers. I can talk to the customers, but reaching out to new customers has been a weakness. So I'm continuing to try to work on that, and I'm thinking Facebook is not going to be the way. So until next time, guys.